What a time to be a Blackpink fan.
I mean, you have collected them all at this point.
And where does that lead you? Like Jennie released, let's give it a watch and then we'll obviously do the review of the album.
I'm excited though. I have literally no idea what to expect. This whole album has been...
Well, I was impressed by the few things we've heard. Mantra was good. The Dominic Fwike song was good.
Love Hangover.
I think extra... What the f***? Like Jennie, yeah?
Ain't nobody like Jennie.
Extra large. Not my demographic. I don't think I'm the target demographic. But he had his moments. An ad for Beats or something. She has made a very deep cultural impact.
Oh, 100%. Okay, what the heck?
Damn, she's pretty as f***.
Put them lyrics to buy.
I think it's all in English there.
Yeah, but I think this is gonna have...
Hey! It's a shout out to all the fan AI covers.
This is a diss track.
Don't pause. Take it to the chorus.
Woo, nice!
Oh, what the f***?
Like Jennie.
Oh, chromatic.
But have you ever met?
But have you ever met? Ain't nobody like Jennie.
What the f***?
This is fire.
Why is it low-key slapping?
Okay, choreo queen.
But have you ever met?
Oh, this is fire though.
Have you ever met? Oh, but Korean, yeah?
That's sick.
Well, this is like very different Korean pop, I guess. Korean hip-hop.
Not gonna lie, this is absolutely banging.
Wow, what an interesting way to do disruptive hip-hop.
Like Jennie.
Okay.
Could never ever be.
The air shag move. That's sick.
Not gonna lie, the freaking production in this music video has been like nothing else. Yeah, though that transition was nasty. Okay, I wanna be one of those dancers.
But have you ever met? Jennie. It's Jennie.
Mate, this video's sick.
Sick.
Jennie.
Is this the last track of the album?
I have no idea.
What the heck though, what a banger. Capybara.
A chinchilla.
That's funny.
Why is that funny?
I think it's a reference to one of like their old
What the fuck?
capybara.
Dude, what the fuck? But that slapped. Didn't that give you Dune vibes or
It
something?
did,
Like
it
Jennie. Lisa Nalgaib. Lisa Nal Jennie.
Nobody like Jennie.
I think you can do hip hop in quite a disruptive way, and you can do songs which are obviously, they did have some chromatic moments, some nice, thirds. They're very nice.
I think I like the layering of like the whispers, the ad-libs. I think the dynamic was there. However, I think the track actually does its job visually. I think this is a performance sort of like stimulus.
Also, this is what happens when you do have artists that know how to dance, have obviously trained through a very long period of time. I mean, Jennie's like one of the longest YG trainees, especially the one that trained the longest in Blackpink.
I think so, yes.
Things do start to show. It takes a while to marinate because I think this is the best Jennie we've got.
I 100%.
I think she's peaking now.
I completely agree with you. I also think the integration of like the little Korean verse
Nice, man.
such a nice diversity into what the song was providing.
Yes.
It really brings a lot of cool dynamics.
It's the second track of the album.
As the second track.
It's only 2 minutes long. It seems the whole album is very much modern era, 3 minutes, give me all the streams available. The only reason, if you're ever wondering why songs are becoming shorter, is because if they are shorter, it means their streamable value goes up because people will listen to them more. So instead of only getting one stream, you get many streams from this one song, because before one song was at 4 minutes. Now it's over and then I want to listen to that again.
Now you can listen to the song twice in the same space of one old song.
Nice that it has an intro. More albums need to do this. Tell me the idea.
See, you see,
FKJ all over this shit.
Yeah, FKJ has really done a lot of visually appealing songs. I know that makes no sense in the actual context, but
It's auditory set building,
yeah,
man.
it really is. Oh, vibes though.
Well, this is why he became popular, essentially.
Absolutely.
No, you get somewhere loves.
Yeah, no, this is producing wizardry. I really like that.
I'm gonna let it play. It's 3, 2, 1, like Jennie.
Nice. It's a good transition.
It's a good transition.
It's a good freaking
Very
hard transition.
juxtaposed, you know.
It kind of sets the tone, but at the same time, because of the spoken intro for like Jennie, it sort of changes the mood, but it is in the same tonality. It's like we're working in the same values.
So
This is quite cool.
I think it's also fair to as well address some of our other reviews. Like we've reviewed now Rose,
Alter Ego.
Jisoo, and Alter Ego. Obviously, is the latest one we just dropped. There's been a ton of discussion. Like we've been getting tagged in a lot of posts. People are making discussions or sending you DMs about the stuff that you feel about our review.
Yeah.
And I think it's super important to highlight, like especially in the bodies of work that the girls are releasing, except for maybe Jisoo, because she did release an EP rather than a full album.
Yeah, it's true.
So this doesn't apply to her. But when you do release bodies of work that are 15 songs long,
Yes. Anything above 10.
I think things start to become quite difficult to please everyone with every single song. Now, if you do like every single song, that's completely fucking up to you. However, it was very obvious, like Alter Ego is a very good example of that. There are some target demographics with specific songs.
Correct.
It was alright if you didn't like any of them. That doesn't mean Lisa is a shit artist.
Yeah.
Or that doesn't mean you're a shit fan. It just means there's some songs that are for you, there's some songs that aren't. Here's the other thing as well. People are obviously saying like we're becoming overly critical with the lyrics of things. One of the rebuttals of that, especially on the Lisa side, it's like, yeah, sure, it isn't that deep for sure, but we are reviewers. We
Yeah.
review lyrics
Also,
and music.
I also feel like there is a lot. It would be an injustice to sort of look at a body of work, whether it was pop, whether it's any other genre, to not look in depth into a little
Right.
bit, and maybe not in depth, but like just investigate a little further into the face value of the lyricism.
Or maybe, yes, it isn't that deep.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
therefore, it cannot be regarded at the same level of art as something that has depth.
Correct.
You've already disqualified it from that. Does it mean it's a shit song? No, the world is not that fucking black and white. And does it mean all of a sudden we don't like Lisa? No, it just means that song wasn't for me. And I think also there are objective truths. Yes, music is subjective, but there are technical, objective musical truths. That's part of what we do. People as well. There's something as well that I think I should say, because we were just literally learning about this. People are now talking about Lisa in one of Jimmy Fallon interviews, right?
And taking it completely out of context.
Yeah, they're saying like, because obviously Lisa is a
Soundbite.
developing singer. Like
Soundbites.
she's genuinely a developing singer, and she's leaning into the singing aspect of things. There will be some good shows, there will be some bad ones. That's completely fine. But in that interview, there's like a moment where she says, they talk about karaoke, and then I think Jimmy asks her like, do you like to sing or something? And she says, no, I'd much rather dance. And then people are saying that actually she knows she's a shit singer, she's not singing.
Yeah,
that's not what she meant, bro.
They're taking the soundbite completely.
That's
out
not
of
what she said.
context.
She said she just likes, she's more comfortable dancing or karaokeing, because karaoke is weird. Some people don't like it, some people do love
Yes, I
it.
agree.
But she's a developing singer, she's getting better. Anyways, let's have a look at Start a War.
Yeah, I'm actually really intrigued about this body of work. Because
Contemporary.
I could not predict what was going to happen here.
How did she not get the Ziza collab?
Honestly?
And you hear hints of young Jennie as well.
Yeah.
Those chord progressions.
I'm gonna try for you, I'll fight for you, go up for you, I start a war.
Nice. I like the low register here. Nice. Okay, you go, girl.
I'm gonna try for you, I'll fight for you, go up for you, I start a war. Cause love it whole responsibility.
And I also love the duality of the vocal texture here. Nice, I love that. Cool.
Binaural.
under heat.
I like the little sound chop, vocal chopping.
Like ad-libs, I guess.
Yeah.
If I need to do anything for you, I'm the same. We ain't got
Yeah, why didn't we get Caesar in here?
we could both be on one. If somebody tried to start some,
I'm gonna try for you, go off for you, start a war.
Fire, fire.
Well, so far, so good for me.
It's cool.
Oh, the Travis feature, something like.
Yeah. Molly Percocets.
Hey, yo.
Okay, Ruby, I see you, girl. Also, that chorus is really nice. I like the use of like different vocal textures. You got vocal dynamics here that I haven't heard. Like she's being her own feature, and I really like that. Like taking advantage of the vocal duality, because we got a little bit of that with that Chico collab, right? We got like heavier.
Spot on or something.
We got a heavier vocal Jennie.
Yeah, full body.
Yeah, but this has girth because she's singing in a lower register, but it also has bite, especially in the chorus. Like it's not sweet, it has bite, it has a little bit of like a little tangy flavor to it, and the verses are soft.
Yeah.
The verses are romantic.
Good dynamics.
I really like that.
Basic dynamics, but very, very fulfilling.
Very well executed.
Correct. It's
Very
like
well
cooking
executed.
with butter. It adds flavor. It's simple as one ingredient, but it adds flavor. It's delicious.
I
Nothing
agree.
beats it.
Yummy.
It's Jaleel Dorman, Kirk Harold, Jonas J-Bug. Obviously, gotta show love to these lads because they're very nice. Danish songwriters, a couple
Yeah,
of.
I'm not gonna lie, the Nordic people, they be dropping bangers lately.
They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot. She did say,
This
I
is
think
nice
the
though.
inspiration behind this song is that it really about reminding people of the person, that someone that you want to protect. That could be anyone. The next one is Handlebars, and it's featuring Dua Lipa.
Not gonna lie,
Works.
this is such a vibe.
It burns me time and time again. So why am I still fixing for this frying pan?
My lips and your lips, we could press them together.
Good pop song.
This is a very good combo of vocals.
Dua Lipa, he slaps.
A single kiss, I lost my mind for 7 days and 7 nights.
Agua. What?
Na, na, na.
Yeah, I love the vocal chops that have been happening throughout the whole album so far.
4 for 4, bro.
Yeah, 4 for 4.
Genuinely.
Nice collab as well. This actually complements each other well. You know, there's nothing more frustrating than having, I think I addressed it in the previous, in Alter Ego. There's nothing more frustrating than going into an album and having features that don't make sense. However,
Features
neither
for the
of these-
name power. or something like that.
yeah. And they feel forced. Like they feel like out of place. However, in either of these albums,
Like we
the
just reviewed
features
Alter
have
Ego.
been
Good features. They made
phenomenal
sense.
features.
Like the Tyler feature was perfect.
Great. I just think like
Arguably speaking, I wasn't a fan, but the Megan Thee Stallion thing was fine. Some people didn't like the Future thing, but I thought
I thought that was great.
It fit the product. It fit the product that you're
I
buying.
agree. And in this collab, I feel like this had been a long time coming, sort of thing.
I agree.
'Cause they've already worked together. Even if it was remote, there's already like an in terms of like creativity there.
I'm with Jenny's timber and Dua Lipa's timber.
Yeah, they really complement each other.
Agreed.
And even though they're not the same register, because Jennie sits a little bit
Higher,
higher
yeah.
naturally, they just work so well together.
And also, we've seen Dua Lipa perform live, especially in some of her collaborations with like Elton John and stuff like that. And you know, I think Dua Lipa is more like a pop product in the sense of like, is it the performance? You know, is she gonna sing like Elton John? No, but that's not essentially what she's trying to sell you, anyways. But
Music, her discography really isn't that.
correct. You don't
Yeah.
need to be a world class singer, but
Yeah.
I do think that all these songs that we're hearing at the moment, very
Playable.
doable. But then Start a War, very singable for Jennie. Handlebars, very singable, even if she has choreos, easy. The next one is With the IE, Way Up.
Party in the back room.
Okay.
Left her in
Oh,
the restroom.
the sample.
Attitude is yeah.
What
Jennifer
is the
Lopez.
sample?
Jennifer Lopez.
Oh, it is, right?
Jennie from the block.
Ah, Jennie from the block.
It's Jennie from the block, bro.
That's right, my boy.
No more cycles. Shimmy, shimmy, yeah, I'ma let it go. Shots fired on my way.
Weirdly, like, arranged.
No, it's because they did
auto-tune and
phrase by phrase, sort of like chopped it up
Not a fan. That was...
like cup salad.
So, but when I do it, I'm the problem.
See,
Gave you
different
too
flow
much
for
and it's
this.
giving spoiled rotten. Got me stressed out being the trending topic.
Also, I can't stop thinking of like Latino core Brooklyn.
On one.
Diablo.
Come give me a kiss. Get the Are you? Party in the back room. I done left it in the restroom.
Oh yeah, this would gonna be so good live.
I think this is a good live song.
It is.
Wow, big producer.
Yeah, see the vocal chops just going through.
Them joints.
Them joints.
She wrote here as well.
Fire.
I mean, I don't know if that's the song that I would listen to on repeat, but he has moments, bro.
Not gonna lie, I think the nostalgia element just really hits hard.
This really has
for
moments.
me. Here's the thing, I really think that first verse and like line by line chopped up sort of situation gave a really dynamic, it gave a really fresh sort of difference to the vibe of the track that you were getting up so far.
Yeah.
The second verse being a little bit more fluid, being a little bit more congruent, it sort of balances off. You're playing, because you've been playing with the vocal chops the whole album so far.
Yep.
Yeah, all the layers have been chopped up. You get that like glitchy sort of sound in specific moments. The whole album has been sort of congruent in that way. I think this is good. I don't have a problem with this whatsoever.
I mean,
Also,
I still think she's 6 for 6. I just don't know, because I think it's a good song. 5 for 5, sorry. I just don't know whether this is the song that I would be listening to non-stop.
do you know which song I would love to see live?
Like Handlebars, that's
Yeah,
the
that's
fucking
fabulous.
replay,
That's
bro.
gonna be awesome. The song that I would love to see live is that Doechii collab, Extra Large,
Yeah,
Extra L.
so that's what's next.
Nice.
Then it goes Mantra.
That's that
I'm
pretty
gonna go
good.
Mantra. So then it goes a tad bit more like hip hop, commercial pop, arguably. Then you have Love Hangover, which is pure contemporary R&B.
And it's sort of bringing it back down. You have really hype. You got a lot of hype. So Extra L, Mantra, they're very big, sort of like in your face.
Good repertoire
high
so
dynamic.
far. Obviously, we've heard those songs. I have not heard Zen. Have you heard Zen?
No.
So let's go to Zen. We're skipping to track 9. Obviously, we've done a review of Mantra. We've done a review of Love Hangover. I think we did the solo version of Love Hangover, but we've heard it on our own time. So let's go to Zen. Zen. I think I like the sample a lot in the
album sampler.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Again, auditory storytelling, guys.
Now,
Whoa.
under energy. Yes, I'm what you think about me. Cross.
Yeah, the Travis Scott collab would also work.
Please, I'ma keep busy. Zen, present, bless. Money can buy 6 cents. Bitch, case make me better. Fire or a quiet chatter. Shoot, shoot, shoot. I make him scared.
This chorus is gonna have to carry.
Yeah, it's...
Nobody gon' move my soul, gon' move my arm, my matter. Nobody gon' move my leg, come touch my glow, my matter.
And it's done.
Oh, wow,
That's how it's done.
Nobody gon' touch my soul, gon' match my glow like a day.
Jesus!
Yeah, no, this is
What in the
wizardry, like,
cyberpunk?
what the heck?
Thick skin lay like
Yeah,
chains
no,
on chains on
fire.
chains. Where
Wait
the
up.
pressure on my neck and rings.
What the fuck? Right in the back of the one.
Yeah.
Midnight blue. In the dark I grew.
Nah, it works, bro. It works, man. It
I
works.
got goosebumps.
Yeah, it works, man.
You know what though? I
10. Money cannot buy no real friends. Baddest they can make me
Give me the chorus there.
fire or a quiet
Quiet Ja. Mate, it fucking works. What the f? This is a production masterpiece, bro. You need a big marching snare drum here.
Yeah,
Bah!
Shake me.
Via bosses. Finish on 7th.
Do you know what that chorus is actually so impressive? Because the rest of the verse,
Dude,
the
that
rest of the
track.
verse, I don't know. I'm not.
The verse 1, I think, was so weird.
No, but I tell you why. I'll figure it. I figured that out. It's weird because she never starts on 1.
No,
So
it was at the
you-
back of the 1, or maybe it
it's
might be on the
never
2.
predictable. So when you think the phrase is starting, she's not.
When we're saying the 1, it just means the count.
The beginning
so
of the bar, so
1, 2,
1,
3,
3,
4.
4.
1, 2.
3.
Because I think this
4.
song is a 4x4
It
song.
is. It
anyway.
is a 4x4.
It's just trying to fool you.
However, because the beat is doing a lot of really cinematic sort of like sound building,
Yeah, dog.
and like atmospheric freaking space traveling, you have this opportunity to play with rhythm, and that's exactly what they were doing in the writing process of the verse. So the verses don't fall in 1. The chorus, though, however, straight up bang on the 1.
Right on the 1.
So
Very
that's when,
satisfactory. Very.
Yeah.
Let's go off the tension. That's what I'm telling you. I think this chorus is gonna have to carry because there's no melody in this fucking song
Correct.
except then.
And then the melody that you get is very fabricated. It's very
Production
unnatural.
magic.
It really is, and it's actually what gives it that spacey sort of like traveling through time.
The same feeling I've got with this song is when I first heard like Travis Scott's Butterfly Effect album.
Correct.
I was like, what the f is
What
this?
is this?
It's like, yeah, you know, maybe this isn't the music you listen to. You know, I don't know many music snobs or geeks or nerds or people who, you know, really like complex music stuff listening to Travis Scott. However, when there was nothing
he
like
came
that
out.
going on
Correct.
at the time,
Correct.
and when you listen, this is also like a feat of technology.
It is.
Look
It
at the
really-
way they're able to, like the way those bass lines are equalized, and those sound effects, they're like EDM-ish, I guess, but they feel more like Dolby Digital fucking
It does. It's so cinematic.
4K on my fucking ears.
100%. I think the beauty of this track is the cinematic effect
Ah,
that
it's
it has.
fucking
Yeah,
nuts.
it really is. It's like this is where when it's well executed, the lyricism also sort of like falls.
I
like
swear to you,
second nature. I
swear
like
to you,
it.
verse 1, it
Weird.
really like
Weird. It was
I
hard to
thought
digest.
you weren't gonna fucking get me, mate.
Hard to digest, but that chorus really brought it together.
The next one is Caliucci's. Is the Caliucci's feature with Childish Gambino called "Damn Right." I generally think so far she's 9 for 9.
Impressive.
She's nuts.
Impressive. She's been hanging around the right people, though, I can tell you that.
Also, look at that. 15 seconds of
Mike
open play. Okay.
Yes, this makes sense.
That's Michael Mega.
That's what I said.
Damn right, I did that. Damn right, yeah. Damn right, did that. Yeah, I did. 'Cause I do it so effortlessly, do it my way. Do it so good, I'll make your troubles disappear. That, yeah,
I feel like Kelly, which is the queen of like aesthetically pleasing ad-libs. Her and Sabrina Claudio.
You called him a hey.
Candy cane, blue sticks, bump in the range. Hitting top notch means simpler things. Playing hopscotch, but she landed the square.
They like doing this thing in the album, but they
Yeah, and they have a slight flanger in the like their vocals too, so like they sound really metallic.
Thought that they was working, but she laughing about your stroke in the chest. The confidence lack. They used to have to talk, but now they look at the watch, the chain and the thing.
Yeah,
let
the
me look at
ad-libs
the
are
stock.
fire.
I walk around Atlanta like I live in a box. She pop a red balloon and now he kicking them rocks. You playing with fire. I said she was the sweetest. till she
Drugs.
told me a lie. I used to work the middle, but I had to retire. She did me something dirty, but she did it with style. Damn right.
Damn right, I did that.
I mean,
This is my least favorite though.
yeah, but it's still good.
But it's still good.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it's not objectively a bad song.
No, but here's the thing. None of the songs are gonna be objectively bad because they are so well produced.
I thought some songs that we've reviewed in the past were objectively bad. I don't know how I felt about the first chorus. It felt a bit empty. I thought it wasn't gonna hit. I know what they're trying to do with the early 2000s, late 90s R&B, where literally a lot of the choruses were like that. A lot of pure contemporary R&B was like that.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I think
did.
it kind of lacks a little punch in the chorus. I think Kali did what Kali does.
Caliuchis.
Yeah, and
Childish
Gambino is a great addition to this. This is fabulous.
This thing, I mean, this song has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fucking writers.
It's
Obviously,
okay though. That makes sense because there's three different artists here. So, and in this album, however, you feel a lot of congruency here. And when congruency clicks with the artist, that means that a lot of the process has been intertwined. Like they've bled through this, and I really appreciate that though.
So when we say things like there's a ton of writers, that's not to say the project is shit. It just means that you're gonna have probably most likely congruency issues throughout the project. Maybe in the song is fine, but throughout the project there might be some issues.
And also, it's sort of like you're filtering through some of the initial feeling that the singer or the composer might have had, because a lot of people have different interpretations of what that is specific
becomes diluted,
concept.
you know?
Yeah, it's just a little diluted.
The next one is FTS.
In terms of sound aesthetic, it has been so incredibly congruent.
No criticism on that.
No.
No.
And you know what? The use of the auto-tune throughout the whole album, not a gripe with it either. It works.
An aesthetic choice.
Nice. Listen to those layers though. Freaking hell.
It's not that deep to me.
Fuck that shit. Flip the script.
That shit.
You're on games.
Very cinematic, the whole thing.
It is. It really is.
Go insane. I'll say what I want if this shit's true. True. Inside of me. Fuck that shit. Over it.
I'm glad they went with it. Trombone sounding bass line. They could have very obviously go with an 808 or something like that.
Again, heavily layered. This is a track that is heavily layered. I think we could have said so much more, but that's okay.
Again, 5 writers. Why? I have no fucking clue.
Again, I feel like we could have said more.
Yeah, from a fucking musical perspective,
It
it's
is
fine.
awesome.
It's interesting. It's all like
It's awesome.
lyrically perspective wise. So what the what happened?
After the flip the script inside of me,
Give me something else.
we could have worked with something else.
Well,
there.
in the verse 2, which I thought, because the theme is quite interesting. Like,
it's
what
really
happened
cool.
to freedom and honesty? What matters to you? It's not that deep to me. And then she goes, I'm in love. You're on games. Switching up, switching lanes. Won't fight the urge. I'll go insane. I'll say what I want if this shit's true. Oh yeah, if that shit's true.
Well,
come on, champ.
I think this, but it could be interpreted in a way that like this is conversational. This is like something that this is how she would express herself, like in everyday sort of like dialogue.
I guess lyrically speaking, the weakest one, when it actually could have turned out to be one of the strongest ones, because I like the
agree.
themes that he was exploring.
And it was so beautifully layered,
Correct.
musically speaking.
The symphonic
arrangements, the brass section, the ad-libs, the little special vocal effects in the background.
Just a tad, it could have showcased more depth, and then it turned out it's just 2 meters deep. Filter. Rap.
just lifted. Looking
See, you're playing with rhythms. That's nice. Damn, holy crap.
No, it's polyrhythmic, isn't it?
Nice, I like it. Yeah, it feels so natural though, but it's brilliant. Yeah, that polyrhythm is sick. That's fire.
Fucking hell, I'm 4 on the floor.
That's wild.
It's the most musically complex one. Square it off.
Oh! That is nuts. I love electropop. Shame me for it.
Wow.
This is great.
What a song.
Fire, fire. Okay,
That's a 10 out of 10 track.
That's a 10 out of 10 track. The polyrhythmic change, going from a 3/4 to a 4/4, to then changing the absolute feel of the track to for a 4/4, but that it feels like it's like a disco.
4 on the floor, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's
like it's like a dance song, and then we switch it yet again.
3/4 again.
3/4, and then we bring it to electropop,
So
which is so freaking fire.
So 3/4 is what makes it feel like pendulum-like, you know. It's like swingy, you
And
know.
it's like, if you wanted, because of the time signature, it would have been a romantic sort of melodic.
That's
phrasing.
right. A bit more
And they-
vulnerable.
And they didn't lean in towards that, which I think it's what makes it feel unnatural. It makes it feel like, oh, something is up here.
And also look at lyrically, the song is. I like this
It
shit.
flows.
This is we're exploring some bits. I woke up like this, feeling like weight just lifted. I don't know what it is, but I swear to God, I love this shit. Look in the mirror, there ain't nothing clearer. So take off your filter. Bitch, what you gonna do with that? Like this is interesting.
It's
this is inner
nice.
dialogue. This is someone who's like battling inner demons. Like
And it's also like acceptance, and it's empowering, and I love what's happening here. The lyrics are great.
look
They
at that.
work.
3 people wrote the fucking lyrics. Let's have a look at Soul City. There's only 2 left. No way.
Nasty. What the heck? This is great.
flying lights, paradise in Soul City. He says,
Yeah, it is.
my attitude out of
This might be my favorite.
the box, pretty please. See
Aye.
so
Okay, nice. Yes, my favorite so far. That beginning, it is so freaking nasty. I love the idea of having something that is so vocal choppy and like really leaning towards it, especially for the vocal-ish part of the track in between verses. I like that. Also, the lyrics very congruent.
So
Yes, the sound aesthetic. Yes.
So Mike Will, then we have a bunch of writers here. Carrie again, Carly again, sorry, from Spain. Miles Harris, who I'm not familiar with. BB again. Jennie
Jennie herself.
gets
I
creds
like
here.
this though, because I also feel like it's sexy, but it's also low key. I'm vibing with that. This stack of vocals.
It was nice.
My favorite so
Nice.
far.
Then we have Starlight.
저긴 어딜까?
Whoa.
Ah.
시작과 끝은 어디일까? What about the moments you don't see?
This is nice.
This was like an OST.
I was just a white lie. Truth comes out in time, every time. Wait, starlight bright, starlight.
It's
저기
fun.
반짝이는 별처럼
Feels like an OST,
속에서
that.
점점 가까워지는 거 아닐까?
It's fun. Not my favorite. Not. I think this is the first track in the whole album that I actually feel like it's out of place. I don't think it needed to be
What
there.
peculiar placing, right?
Yeah,
What
I don't
peculiar
think it
song
needed to
for
be
this
there.
project?
I do, however, think that this is like fun. This is fun, sort of, especially for that chorus. It's very catchy.
I think in a
Not
concert,
my favorite though.
I think in a concert you do need a song like this. You know, it does provide Jennie a break. There
Yeah,
isn't
it feels
gonna
like
be.
a break.
There isn't gonna be that. It feels like an encore song. There isn't gonna be much choreography or anything like that. There's gonna be a lot of visual stimulation and
And in terms of like the actual listening experience of the album, like listening to the streaming platform itself, like in the album, I find the transition a little strange. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like that's the only song up until this point.
we're arguably,
That
not
I feel
arguably,
like-
I don't think it fits.
I don't think it's like, but you know what? That's a huge freaking success.
I thought we were gonna have more songs like this because it's
Definitely.
like
it's 15 tracks. I mean,
and
you
this is
can't
the first
win
one.
them all, you know. But like,
it's the first one where I think again the placing is peculiar. I'm not sure why it's part of this project, but you know it will be interesting to see what she thinks, and also let's see what you guys think in terms of maybe this is one of your favorites. We're always surprised, you know.
Definitely.
It's completely fine if
and
this,
if it is your
song's
favorite, then tell us specifically why.
Maybe you just like it as a song in the album. You don't necessarily are looking at it from the macro perspective of the, you know, I'm not listening to the fucking album from top to bottom every day. I just like the song that was in this album from Ruby. And but I think this could possibly be a fan favorite. That's like a bit of a dark horse.
Yeah, I think like it could rank up.
Because it really does showcase a very different side to the project. Let's have a look at the last one. This is called Twin.
This is the closing of the album. Okay.
Well, I guess now Twin works because you've had Starlight.
I guess.
Second writing a letter, and I put
See,
it
she
in
never
the
comes in
box,
one.
What is that?
Second writing a letter, but I'm writing a song. Can you just bear with me? We were 10 years in and young and dumb, but I'm writing a song.
Nah,
I'm
man.
writing a letter.
What happened?
I'm writing a song. We get older. Twin, you and I, we drifted apart.
I feel like this is a bestie song. Like this is the song that you sing to your bestie.
Nah. Hold on a second. Pause. Nah, blood. Nah, I'm not doing that. Do you feel that way? I blame the timing. Wasn't timing. Nah, bro. What the happened to English?
Give me Gen core.
I wanna give you this, Jennie.
Twin,
No, I think this has twin. I feel like this is good for the end of a concert.
For a mixtape.
Like,
You make a mixtape to your loved one or something.
no, for like your bestie. This is definitely like bestie coded, you know? I like the acoustic guitar and the vocal equalization. They really mixed her vocals beautifully here. They took away a lot of that auto-tune that I didn't like. I didn't think in the ballads was needed. So it's actually quite
I
nice.
don't think Jennie needs. Also, I think it's just an aesthetic choice. You know?
Definitely, but in this particular track, it's very clean in terms of like how her vocals are being mixed.
So she wrote she wrote this one. It's
don't
the
know if
most
it's-
personal track on the album, with a melancholic message to a past relationship she had. In an interview with Zane Lowe, Jennie, or I don't know how to say his name, or her name, Jennie explained that writing a song, she wrote this, gave her a sense of closure about that relationship. Throughout the song, Jennie speaks to this person as if she's writing a letter. That's why she's saying it's like I'm writing a letter or a song. She expresses feelings of regretting nostalgia. I think this is
Well,
just...
there you go.
this song is a very, very special song to me. Oh, she's gonna hate this review. Oh, maybe the most personal song, but by the time we were done with the song, I read it back to me and I was like, okay, people can resonate with this. There's got someone that makes everyone feel this way. I think after being truthful on that song, it gave me clear thought on how I felt on that relationship, and it says it all. There you go. I'm writing my letter to you.
Fair enough. It is candid. They did try to make it very, in terms of like the
Production-wise,
production. It was supposed to
I
be
think
very
they nailed
candid.
what they wanted,
Yes.
what their vision was. I just don't
the
know whether
sound
it's part of
aesthetic.
Ruby.
I agree. Those last two songs, we could have ended with Soul City.
Also,
That could have been the closing track, and
Also-
I would have been okay.
it's only now where I blame the timing wasn't timing. It's accepted as fucking fine lyric.
It's really not fine.
That's
I
insane.
understand that it's slang. I get it.
It's not
guys.
slang. It's
It
brain
is,
rot,
is-
bro.
But I understand that. Like I understand the relatability.
Blame the timing.
of it.
Wasn't timing is insane, dog. And I like Jennie, man. And I think for me, she's 13 out of 15.
That is brilliant.
Which is
Incredible.
mental.
I 100% agree with this. My favorite one out of the actual commercial tracks, like Mantra was incredible.
Yep.
Loved it
Mantra.
when it came out. I think it was the right sort of like introduction into Ruby and pre-sales and all of this. Absolutely phenomenal. Like Jennie, banger.
Awesome.
What a banger. It's
What
like
great
a
video as well.
slap in the face.
Yeah, what great video.
Love it. Every single feature in this album, very congruent.
Dua Lipa,
very
perfect.
very right for this album.
How do you say her name? Dochi?
Caliuchis.
No, Dichi.
Dochi.
Dochi, the rapper girl.
Yeah.
Fine. I thought
It
it worked.
works. It works.
Dominic Fike, great. Childish Gambino and Caliuchis, they had the weakest feature song but it was still good.
But the actual body of work, phenomenal. What they brought to the table, great.
FTS, fine. Filter was fine. Soul City is okay.
I like Soul City the best.
Starlight, a bit weak, but Twin, Starlight and Twin, I think you
the
could have
weakest.
finished the album in Soul City.
Yeah, I think you could.
And it would have been great. Generally, she would have had one of the best albums, arguably speaking.
It would have been a banger from beginning to end.
Yeah, genuinely. Like, what the fuck?
Again, I don't have any I don't have any gripe with the whole body of work. I think this goes through a lot of thought. This goes through a lot of mental process. They listen to the tracks over and over again in that same order. Like there's a lot of thought that goes into this.
A ton of effort. You can tell a ton of love went into this. Generally, a ton of love,
100%.
a ton of effort. I think she really bled and worked very hard for this.
Yes, you can tell. However,
And I think she should be very proud. This is very, very...
The weakest two songs at the end, again, it's something that you could give yourself space for, especially with the first debut album, you know?